Hello and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, fellow viewers and friends and global viewers right now who's tuning in. Thank you so much for dropping by. Welcome back to my channel, Motivationalee. And this channel is intended to inspire, motivate, and create an impact, whatever your circumstance is. And what's up, everyone? Best to invest 2021 onwards. What you need to know. You might have some savings there that you want to invest in something, and you're not sure how you can use your savings, or you might be wanting to invest on other things as well. You just need some tips and learn some strategies how you can invest in the future from 2021 onwards. Of course, we've got someone here who could also assist and guide us and what to do and what investment is appropriate from this year onwards. Let's hear it, and let's all welcome Stephen Miranda. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, everyone.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm well. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for saying yes to this. And of course, a lot of people are
welcome.
waiting for to hear some tips on what to invest, best to invest in from 2021 onwards, and what else do they need to know. Of course, with your guidance as well. So to start, without further ado, let's start about knowing about yourself right now. A brief background as well, Stephen, please, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Well, depends how far back you want to go, but yeah, I guess
just a brief background.
I guess in terms of my professional background, I was originally in IT, so I was heavily into computers and all that sort of stuff. But I quickly got sick of that and got into the finance game, and became a mortgage broker, and that was back in 2002, and I've been doing that ever since. So, giving credit advice, all that sort of stuff. So I've been doing that for quite some time. So that's me in a nutshell. Yeah, it's almost 20 years of experience in that area. 20 years. So yeah, I've seen it all. I've seen the ups and the downs, and I've been, mainly heavily weighted to property investment, but I've seen everything. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, and I guess a bit of my background and what I've been doing. But yeah, and home loans and business loans, etc. So that's me.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Stephen. What a big jump, huge jump from being an IT into all this, numbers, isn't it? Right? Beautiful. And
that's right.
Of course, our viewers right now, our global viewers, obviously, can't wait to hear some of your maybe tips or your some advices, straightforward advice as well when it comes to investing, because a lot of people these days would like to be rich in just 1 second. So let's see how it goes. Okay, right now, who wants to be a millionaire in just one second? Why not? Okay. Yeah. So, Stephen, just before we get into that tips as well or your advice as well, I just want to ask you about this. Have you ever defined your investment philosophy?
Yes, I guess I have. And if anyone is looking at investing or beginning their journey or already investing, I guess it's important to know the type of person you are. So whether you're, a risk taker, whether you're willing to take, massive risk, or you might be someone that's a bit more conservative. But my sort of philosophy is slow and steady wins the race. So it's more to do with a little bit at a time and grow steadily. As opposed to thinking you're going to grow very quickly and rich straight away. So it's more about having a long-term approach, if that makes sense. But I guess the main, absolutely. Do your research, start slowly, start small. But the main thing is to start investing. So the younger, the better. So if you're young, you have to invest. Whether you're old as well, it doesn't really matter. But the main thing is to actually start. A lot of people fail to just get that first start, first investment property, or get into shares or whatever it is. That's probably the most important thing, is to start. But know the type of person that you are. What sort of investor will you be, depending on your personality and what type of person you are. it depends on your age as well. You might be like me, married with a few children, so you take less risk. It's more about building that up. Whereas you might be 19 and you can take as much risk as you want and make as many mistakes as you want. But know that you will make mistakes. You will lose money. But if you keep at it, I think you'll get there in the end. But you need to have a plan as well. Have a plan. What are you going to do step by step? Where am I going to start? And have the end in mind. I want to have 5 properties in 10 years? Do I want, have a portfolio of X amount? Things like that. So
you have that goal. That's good.
So have a long-term approach. Have it's not just the short term; it's a long-term approach. But you have to start.
Start now.
A lot of people fail to start. Yeah.
And having said that, when you said you've got to start even as young as you are, what's sort of like a age that you can think that they can start investing? 16, 17, 18?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they start earning money, as soon as you get that first job, or as parents teach your children, hey, put some money aside and invest that money. That's the key, to start as early as you can.
Yeah, good
Teach
point.
them young as possible. So whatever you're earning, take a little bit aside, 10%, 20%, whatever that is, and put that into investment. Whatever that investment is, it doesn't matter, but it gives them the foundation to save, and then have their money work for them, basically.
Sure. That's a good advice. Start.
Does that make sense?
Teaching your kids. Yes, very much. Really good. Really good. 2 thumbs up.
So
for that.
Start as young as possible.
Yeah, and it's really good advice as well, Stephen, that even us parents should teach our kids to start investing. We're not trying to teach them for a stock market or stock share, but saving money every day and putting in a bank, perhaps, and they can see the growth of their money from the $20, it went up to 25. So they can appreciate that, and as they grow mature, they will be able to realize the importance of investing, not just buying stuff and shopping online, all those things. So they know how to plan what's the outgoing and the incoming as well. Thank you for that, Stephen.
It's paying yourself first. That's the key.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you. Great. Good start. And Sandra says hello to us. Thank you, Sandra, watching from Perth as well. Sandra is here, wants to learn what are the other ways of investing apart from, whatever she's doing right now. Thanks, Sandra, for dropping by and for tuning in as well. Now, let's continue, Stephen.
Sure.
Do you have, what are your goals when it comes to investing in general, your goals in investing? This is in general.
For me, you've got to set your goals. Do you want to be financially free? Do you want to just replace your income that you're earning now? It all depends on what your future looks like in 5-10 years' time. Do you want not to be working? Do you want to just have a passive income from investment property? Whatever it is, you need to set that goal. So, like I said before, whether you want to have 5 rental properties in 5 years, you want to have a passive income, earning interest from your stocks, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone's goal is different. So you have to have that. You have to write that down and say, well, why am I buying this property, or why am I doing this? What do I want to achieve? That's the most important thing. It's not so much what you're going to invest in, but you've got to write those goals down, whatever those goals are for you. But have a plan. So,
and that made me
does that answer your question?
Yeah, of course. And that made sense as well. If you've heard about that vision board, if you have that vision, compelling vision, a strong goal, make it happen. Have that, because as they always say, if your dream has no timeline, it will remain as a dream. So make sure that you've got your vision board, guys, and try and make it happen, and carry out some interventions so that you can achieve your goals in whatever timeline you want it to be. At least you're doing something. Thanks for that, Stephen. Now, let's go now to the main point, because some people now would like to hear from you. Do you have any tips or a list or tips of what are the best to invest from 2021 onwards? What are in right now? I'm sure there's so many out there, especially now that especially now, Stephen, that the world has shifted into an online opportunity.
Yeah,
So
sure.
So take it away.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I guess I'm a little bit old school. So for me, the number one thing for me is property, and building a property portfolio, because the growth you get in that property far outweighs what you could save or possibly make money in other ways. I guess cryptos come.
The crypto, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin.
Well, cryptocurrency in general, Bitcoin's become quite popular. So I guess whatever you're doing, just do your research. Whatever it is, if you want to get into crypto, fine. But just know that crypto is a very volatile market. So you could lose your money overnight, right? So just be aware of that. I guess the main thing to do is diversify. So I would have money in property. I would have money in exchange traded funds, low cost index funds. I would have some money into crypto. Yes. They're sort of your main ones: stock market, property, crypto, ETFs. They're the main sort of 4 or 5 that I would be investing in. But make sure you diversify your portfolio. So that way it's minimizing your risk. If the property market's not going well, the stock market might be going well, or whatever. So
it's like it escalates.
Diversify.
It's like domino. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is diversify your portfolio. Don't just invest in one thing. But then again, you might be comfortable just in property, for example. That could be something that you're really comfortable, that then stick to it. But do have other investments as well. Asset allocation. You need to allocate your funds over different asset classes. So a bit of stock market, property. I like to invest in low cost index funds, and that's slow and steady over time. Property, like I said, I've started to invest in crypto as well, but not everything. I'm not dumping all my money into crypto because, like I said, I could lose it all tomorrow. So it's more of a riskier investment, but it's worth putting some money in for sure. But again, do your research. Research. That's important. Don't just invest in it because everybody else is doing it. Make sure you're doing your own research and follow the experts, follow the ones that are actually doing it well, and look at their portfolios. Even investing in crypto, for example, it's not just all your money in Bitcoin and Ethereum. It could be ADA, Cardano, all these other cryptocurrencies that you could invest in as well. So just spread your portfolio as well.
That's
but
good.
For me, it's mainly property, stock market, low cost index funds, and a bit of crypto as well.
Okay, good. I hope you remember that, guys, but this is recorded too, so you can just replay this. What are the best to invest from this year onwards, especially now that the world has shifted in an online opportunity as well. Thank you for that. And so, Stephen, there's a continue before
I was going to say, no matter what, I go back to my previous point where it's a long-term philosophy. It's not just I'm going to put a bit of money into crypto here and just take it out next month. It's a long-term approach. So if you're going to invest in something, keep investing in it for the long term and ride the waves. People get out too quickly. People get out too quickly when the market goes down. So
true.
I'm just trying to add a few little things to help people.
And it's good that you're sharing your idea as well and your vision as well when it comes to what's the best to invest from this year onwards, because it's really more an automated now and more an online thing, and everything's so quick right now.
investing in businesses as well. You can invest in businesses too. That's a really hot one as well. Whether it's a marketing, whatever business it is, an online business, that's an investment as well. So again, do your research,
Yeah,
in things
true.
like that as well. But that's really important. But that's another investment too that you can try.
Speaking of that, Stephen, I've got a question here about the business. Is it
Sure.
good to invest on a passive income? Because there's so many automated
Depends
digital
on what it
marketing right
is.
now.
It depends
Okay.
on what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's saturated at the moment with that sort of stuff. You can just jump on YouTube and there's online businesses everywhere. So
Yeah, ads.
my advice would be don't just get sucked into $2,000 courses, or there's so many gurus out there that will try
Yeah,
to get you to purchase their courses and you're going to make money overnight. It's not going to
that's
happen.
right.
You need to put in the hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and you don't make money just like that. It's going to take time.
True.
Like any business, they make it sound like you do 1 hour a week and you're going to be a millionaire. It doesn't work that way. So,
Yeah,
but
it builds
if
up.
you do go all in on something like that, put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort, you will reap the rewards later for sure. There's a lot of
Yeah.
good guys you can follow online that don't sell you these sort of courses, that the $3,000-$4,000 courses that really don't do much.
How about
Yeah,
that
they don't do much.
rich dad, poor dad, Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah,
Have
I
you
mean,
heard
he's
about
a
him?
very old
He's a
school
guru.
investor.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school investor.
Mhm.
He invested in crypto. He bought Bitcoin. I think he said when it was at $9,000. When crypto hit $9,000, he invested heavily into it.
Wow. All
So,
right.
and now it's
I've
sitting
got
at
a
35,000 or something. I mean, he's talking in
amazing.
US dollars,
That's amazing.
but he's made all his money in property. He made an absolute fortune in property
Yeah.
before he invested in crypto, but he's invested in crypto. So, yeah, I've heard of Robert Kiyosaki. There's plenty
That's
of
good.
great investors that you can learn from. But if you're
Yeah.
going into the online space, there's a guy called Miles Beckler on YouTube.
Miles
Write
Beckler,
that.
did you say?
Miles Beckler.
And I write it.
Miles. His surname is Beckler.
Maybe
Beckler.
I will write it on the bio as well, guys. After this podcast, I will write it on
Great
the
guy to
comment below
follow.
section. We'll do that.
Doesn't sell you any, get rich quick schemes. He tells you how it is. If you want to build an online business, this is how you do it. It's going to take work.
Okay.
It's going to take time. You might be good at YouTube. You might be good at, writing things down. You might be good at blogging. So it depends on your skills as well. So that's important. So
Okay.
Lee, you're great at YouTube. So that could be
tried my best.
your way of doing it. And that's how he
Cup
did.
of tea.
His was through YouTube, but he did a lot of writing as well. But so it depends. It depends.
So where your niche is, and he can support you with that. So we'll type that, right? We'll type his name later on, guys. Promise. After the podcast, I'll type it in the comment below section.
And a lot of people don't know what niche to follow or what niche to get into. He can, help you guide you through that as well.
Yeah.
He's got a free course at the moment, which is great. So you might want to jump on that. So yeah, don't get sucked in.
What's the name again? Yeah, that's right.
Miles Beckler, his name is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good.
So yeah,
good.
it's something you can do on the side as well. If you're working 9 to 5, and you come home and you work on your online business, it's great. Something you should do. Something you should invest in. Investing in yourself is important.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget to invest in themselves. So, besides investing in other things, the most important thing is to invest in yourself, your education, getting your mindset right, all those sorts of things. So, yeah.
It starts with a good mindset as well. If you don't have a good mindset, you won't be able to carry out your visions, to be honest. So it will be disorganized. You don't know where you're going. Your path will be, topsy-turvy. So it's not right.
By investing in yourself, you're picking up more skills. The more skill you have, the more value you become, the more money you can make.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
that
good, isn't
simple.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. And speaking of passive income, I know a passive income that which is less hassle free,
Hmm.
and they don't do any demos or like traveling anywhere. They can reach people in different parts of the world, and the one
Sure.
that actually explains the investment itself is the video. So let's say, for example,
Yeah.
if I'm the business owner and
Hmm.
you are my future business partner, and
Yeah.
you want to know the business, I don't need to talk to you over the phone for like 3 hours talking about all these investment opportunity. All I need to do is send you the link via
Yes.
email, or I can give you a short link and you'll watch that. So the volume, the video speaks the volume. And after that, because it's very holistic and comprehensive, you'll be able
Mm.
to understand what's the purpose of this passive income. And so, guys, if you need to know about that, let me know. Comment something below as well if you need to know about that passive income as well as a good investment. What Stephen is saying, you need to
Yeah.
understand the business. It's good. Passive income is good, but you need to know
Yeah.
it's all online, automated. But you need to understand how it works. The strategies and everything. Don't just jump in if you don't know anything. So that business,
Yeah.
Stephen, passive income is it's really doable. Actually, I can tell you that. So good. So if there's any
Yeah.
questions, guys, let
I
me know.
think if you put in the hard work and
Mm,
set the foundations early, and you keep at it, then that passive income will come in where you're doing less work. It's more,
mm,
you put out the videos, you put out the course or whatever you're selling, and that will keep making money for you. Yes, for sure,
sure.
definitely.
And I'll be having a podcast with about that passive income versus active income soon anyway. So watch out for that, guys, on this channel as well, Motivationalee. Now, I've got a question here, two
Hmm.
questions here from Misha. She said, like, what when it comes to Bitcoin or cryptocurrency that you have mentioned a while
Sure.
ago, Stephen, how
Yeah.
would you know if it's a good one? Because there's so many Bitcoins and cryptos that are just scam,
Yeah.
and she's been scammed as
Yes.
well before, 1,000
Sure.
AUD. So can you give us a bit of, like, an idea if this is a real one or not, please,
Yeah.
about
Okay. So
cryptocurrency? Thank you.
the main thing, like I said, follow the ones that are actually doing it properly. There's a few you can follow that I can probably suggest one, but in terms of setting up your portfolio, you mainly want to be with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, they're your main two. So they're not fake, they're real. Put your money there, majority of it, and
Mm,
then put some in altcoins that have been around for a little while. There's a lot of
okay.
startup ones that you need to be careful of.
Yeah.
So I would suggest stick to the ones that are pretty well known to start with, just as a beginner, and do your
Mhm.
research first. Don't just jump into something if someone tells you to. But there's a couple of good guys online that you can follow, that will tell you if the coins are, because they research the coin, they research the
Yeah.
technology.
True.
That's important. They can see
Mhm.
whether it's going to be a fake or not. And they
That's
look
good.
at the company, the owners, as you would any business. Like when you invest in
Yeah.
a business, like say on the stock market or whatever, you look at the company, you look at their structure, you look at how they're set up, what are they all about. So do your
Yeah.
research. That's really important. Don't
Mhm.
just think, oh, this is worth 1 cent. I'm just going to jump in. It's hot. Someone's told me it's hot. I'm just going to jump in, and it's going to be
Mhm.
worth $20 in in
And then
three
you lose it.
months, and then you lose it. But that's what I'm saying. You got to be prepared to lose money.
True. It's a
With
risk. Yeah.
It's a massive risk, massive risk. That's why I say keep most of your portfolio with Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Mm,
But then you've got Polkadot, ADA. There's a few others that are pretty stable coins that you can invest in.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, just be careful of those little startups that come up. Um,
mm. Yeah,
all I
that's
can say
right.
is do your research.
Mhm,
Research the company, the owners.
mhm.
Yeah, I would only put a small percentage if you're going to do
Yeah,
something like
small.
that. Very small percentage of your portfolio into those sorts of things, into the altcoins,
Mhm,
NFTs, these type of things. I would put very little percentages in them. And then if they stay there over time, then you can, put a little bit more in there if you like. I use what's called dollar cost averaging. So it's taking a little bit each month and investing in my portfolio, how I've set it up as a percentage. So might be 30% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum, etc., and then the altcoins are like make up 1 or 2%. So if you're going to invest in something like that, make sure it's small. Don't just put all your money into one coin either. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Spread it out. But yeah, the main ones are Bitcoin, Ethereum. Put all your money in there, or not, or most of it, and then the rest over those altcoins. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you,
hopefully
Stephen.
that helps. It doesn't really,
very
in terms
helpful.
of, if I'm sorry you got burned, whoever that was, but you've got to do your research on the companies. And there's a lot of people that do this sort of research for you. So, yeah, just be careful. Do your research.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for that. You've been very generous. Thank you so much, Stephen. And a few more questions are popping up here, actually, Stephen.
Yeah, that's fine.
A second. A question here says, saying about the stock market. Is it better to invest on a high risk stock market or the low risk one?
I would say both.
Both, yeah.
It depends on how your philosophy again. Do you want to? Most of it will be with the high risk ones. It will put less percentage. Just like I said with Bitcoin, the same with the stock market. Put most of your funds in, your short stocks, your S&P 500s, the ones that are going to be there all the time, and then your high risk ones. Put a certain percentage. Put 10%, 15% of what you're going to invest in those high risk ones.
Yeah,
they will give you the most reward. They will give you the most reward, but you can also lose that very quickly too. So it's all about spreading your risk. So when you invest, you put a small percentage on those very high risk stocks. But for me, I'll be honest, I don't pick individual stocks. I'm not a professional. I use the Warren Buffett. If you know who Warren Buffett is.
Yeah, I've heard about that, but I have not really applied.
He said when he passes away, he's 90 years old now, but when he passes away, 90% of his investments are going to go into low cost index fund. The S&P 500 will be 90% of his investment, and then the rest will be, I can't remember what the rest was, but just think about that. He's going to put 90% of his investment, I think he's worth $86 billion, into the S&P 500. So that tells you that the S&P 500 or the major companies in America or Australia, whatever it is, are going to outperform any stock picking that you're going to try and do. It's very difficult unless you're very experienced and you can pick certain stocks that are going to go up, but it's very difficult to do, especially if you don't day trade. If you're just an investor, then I'll be looking at the indexes, S&P 500s, things like that. He actually challenged hedge fund managers back in 2008. So they set up five hedge funds where they were going to pick individual stocks, and he said, "I'm just going to invest in the S&P 500," and he outperformed them. Over 10 years, they lost. There was a $1 million bet, and he beat them all. Basically, just put all his money into the S&P 500. So it outperformed any of these professional hedge funds investors that were picking stocks and selling stocks.
Sounds really good. Sounds good.
So it's that long-term approach.
Very wise.
The big stocks, it is.
Yeah, it's very wise and careful. That's good attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. We should emulate him.
Because look, to try and pick individual stocks, and it's very difficult to do. Very difficult to do. Unless you're 100% into it, it's very difficult to do. Most of us are working. Most of us have other things to do. We just want a place to invest our money. That's going to work. indexes, low cost index funds are going to work.
That's right.
Over time, they will beat any individual stocks, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does really make a lot of sense. And I personally would, when it comes to stock market as well, Stephen, I would personally choose the option chain, which is more on a low risk sort of like investment that
Yeah.
I've experienced as well. Because then the high risk for me, you need to be on the computer all the time and looking at the graphs, and you have other things to do. I think that's really good for ITs, like you and IT before. So you know what I'm talking about. You're there looking at the graphs, looking at the mean and all that. And some people are really, confident and very comfortable doing that. I'm comfortable doing the option change because you don't need to check it every day. You just check it maybe just once a week, or maybe every day, 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, and that's done. So,
because I have
option
that
change.
long term. Yeah, sorry, because I have that long term approach. I'm not looking at the screen every single day.
I like that too.
And if the market crashes, the market crashes. I'm not going to just sell. That's the time to buy.
Just like last year, pandemic, right? Like that. But with option change, you don't lose anything, so it's good. I mean, that's just my own opinion, but maybe for the high risk, I don't know.
I've tried options trading, like day trading. Made nothing. I lost everything. So
it didn't work for you.
Very difficult. So for me, it's more of a long-term approach and spreading your risk.
Yeah. And I like what you have said a while ago, diversify your investment. And
absolutely.
And having said that, Marianne Gatdula, thank you so much for dropping by as well. Thank you, Marianne. Hope you're keeping well there. And she said, property is a long-term and double benefits as well. So that's good. Thank you, Marianne, for listening as well to Stephen a while ago. And now another question here just popped in just now. Stephen, would you mind if you could reiterate again, what are those lists that you have mentioned a while ago about investment? You said one is property investment and stock market, right? You said passive income is okay. And what else did you say? Because she said, can you please reiterate again the list that you have mentioned about the best to invest from this year onward?
Yeah, I guess property has always been a good investment. So
the number one, property.
Number one for me. That's for me. I mean, that's not for everyone, but for me, that's number one. But not everybody has enough, say, deposit to purchase property just yet. So you could start off in index funds or a managed fund where your money's growing, because just keeping it in the bank isn't going to do anything really. You're actually losing money. So, with inflation and everything else, just sitting in the bank, it's earning no interest whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right.
So property definitely number one. When we say stock market, exchange traded funds, low cost index funds, managed funds, those types of investments for sure. And I guess crypto could be one. Businesses,
passive and active business income. The active is more on the conventional way, like demo and stuff like that, selling online. A lot of online sellers right now. And passive income is more automated digital marketing, which is also good investment. You need to understand what it is all about, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. But whatever you're going to invest in, do your research and you got to feel comfortable and happy doing that, and have a goal in mind. Why am I buying that property, or why am I investing in that stock? And what am I hoping to achieve? Like, do I want great returns? Do I want to let it build up until I have, a huge amount of cash, things like that. So, but definitely diversify. Reach a point where you can buy that first investment property. Keep investing in the stock market, put a little bit into crypto. So you're spreading your risk.
Little bits and pieces there.
Absolutely.
If one doesn't work, if your passive income doesn't work, the other one is working. So you've got a buffer.
Absolutely.
Good point. Good
minimizes
job.
your
Very
risk.
wise.
We're about minimizing your risk,
Yeah, sure.
So that's what it's about. That's what it's
Nice,
about.
nice. Thanks, Stephen. Now, Stephen, you have mentioned that your number one is investment property, right? So if
Correct.
you're going
Yeah.
to be asked, if you have $100 million right now, okay, you'll never know, $100 million right in front of
$100
you, and
million.
you'll be and you can save some for me as well, okay? And
Okay.
then you'll be asked, you've got to choose your top three investment opportunity that you can use this $100 million, because you're going to diversify, but you only need to choose three. And I know number one for you is property investment. What are the
Yeah.
other two to make it top three? And if you have 100 million right now,
I'll put in the low cost index fund, like the
Mhm.
S&P 500. I'd
Why
put
not?
majority in that. So I'd buy
Mhm.
obviously a whole heap of property, and then probably
Mhm.
the rest in crypto.
Good. So you've got three. Thank you for that. Very
Yeah,
straightforward, and thanks for inspiring us as well.
sure.
And again, for those who have just tuned in right now, please replay this on the recorded, because Stephen has mentioned a certain name that you can follow as well on YouTube, and those are kind of reliable people as well when it comes to investing, like cryptocurrency, for example. Okay, now talking about uh, investment property. For example,
Sure.
Stephen, Sandra here or Marion would like to do investing in properties, right? And they've
Sure.
only got one property at the moment, and obviously
Yeah,
the income is just average. They've got this passive income and they've got this active income from work, like wages and all that. How
sure.
can they actually, how can you advise these people? Because as we have mentioned, property investment as being conventional, even other like Robert Kiyosaki or other people who
Yeah.
are very successful, they're into conventional as well, like property investing. How can you
Mm.
help? How can you give them advice for Xander, for example, and Marion? This is just an example, Marion. Okay,
Yeah.
how can they multiply their investment property? Because is there any maximum property that you can invest, and how can they start from one property to another?
So I guess the first thing to remember is that if you've only got the one property, obviously that would be your home, for example.
And you get the equity as
Um,
well.
so you'll be using whatever equity you have. So whatever your property is worth minus what you owe,
Mm-hmm.
that's the equity you could access
Mm-hmm.
to purchase your first investment property. So
Mm-hmm. Can we have a
yeah,
figure here, for
well,
example?
let's say you have a house worth, I don't know, 600,000,
Okay, yeah.
and you owe the bank 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
You could borrow against that property, your home, which is worth 600,000. Let's say you borrowed, I don't know, 80% of its value.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're borrowing $480,000
Mm-hmm.
against your home.
Yeah.
So you owe 300. That 180,000 that's left that you've borrowed additionally can go into your investment property portfolio.
So you can
With
roll
that
it into
one,
that.
yeah. So with that 180,000, for example, you could purchase two properties or one investment property. But obviously, you need to work out, how much you can borrow. That would obviously be something you need to do. But that's how you start.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's how you would start. So you use the equity from your own home and purchase that first investment property. And the idea is that property that you're purchasing will have two benefits. One is capital growth, so grow in value. And
Mm-hmm.
secondly, what sort of rental return is that
Mm-hmm.
property going to give me? So they're the two most important things. When you are buying investment property, it's all about the numbers. My advice would be have a balance of property that are really high in growth, and it could be property that are further out that are a little bit cheaper that will have more rental return. But it all depends. I think it's a matter of working out what your budget is,
Yeah.
and see how much equity you might have and what you could purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then do it again. So once that your home might go up in value more, the investment property will go up again,
Mm-hmm.
re-borrow against that property,
To have another
and
third property.
purchase your next one. Correct.
How
Correct.
many
So
years would it take, Stephen? Let's say from the first house, when can you invest for another one? Let's say, for example, their goal right now for the vision
Sure.
board is to have an investment property. That's one investment they want to do.
Yeah.
So they've
Sure.
got the house now. How long would it take for them to get another house?
Well, just think
Investing
that,
another house.
okay, just put simply, to purchase a property, you need say a 10% deposit, let's say, for example.
Okay.
So whatever you're investing in, just be sure that you've got at least 10% equity. Properties over time double in value every 10 years. So
Every 10 years.
every 10 years will double in value. So your house was worth 600 might be worth $1.2 million in 10 years time.
But can you have, but
and same with the investment
get
property.
another one? Oh, yes. Okay.
Same with the
So can
investment
you,
property. So it depends on how much growth you're getting, and then your first one you could get quite easily in a few years' time, depending on the growth. Like,
growth,
yeah, it depends on the growth, really.
So it's not the year. It doesn't mean that, let's say,
No,
2021,
not necessarily.
you've got this house. You can have another, you can have an investment property after that main house that you bought for this year. Maybe in 2 years' time, you want to buy another property as your investment property. That's possible, right?
Correct. It is definitely
Or in
possible.
1 year time, depending on the growth that you have mentioned. That's
Yeah,
good.
and you
And
could
then you can just
probably
roll it.
have a goal where every 2 years you might double your portfolio. You could say, well, I could get an investment property, and then in another 2 years I'll buy another 2 investment properties. That could be possible, and keep
That's
doubling
good.
your portfolio. Yeah, absolutely.
That's really good.
There's no
So it
reason
doesn't
why
matter.
you can't,
Yeah.
because you don't have to buy property that's worth $1.6 million. You know, that you can buy properties worth 250, 300.
And then it
So
will go up anyways.
yeah, some will grow higher quicker than others, but they will grow. They will grow.
That's
But you
good.
also look at the rental return that's coming.
Rental return, guys. Okay.
Because what are you buying the investment property for?
That's right, for renting.
What are you buying it for? That's what you've got to decide. Am I buying it to get rental income? Yes, and then once that property grows in value, I'll use that equity and buy the next one. I want to grow my property portfolio to a point where I might sell one or two in 10, 15 years' time and pay off all the debt, for example, or things like that. So, yeah. But
that's good.
Realistically, once you buy your first home, you could buy an investment property in a couple of years for sure. And then look at, say, doubling that in another 2 or 3 years' time. But again, it depends on the market and the types of property that you've invested in. So
and the location as well. You know how it,
Yeah.
because sometimes location can help as well with the growth of the land
Absolutely.
itself.
As you go closer to the capital cities, obviously the growth is a lot faster, but properties are more expensive as well. So we've seen a real boom in the regional areas, especially in Victoria, even New South Wales. The growth has been bigger than, say, some of the capital cities. So don't be afraid to invest out in regional areas as well.
That's right. Cool.
You know?
That's good. Yeah, like maybe a vacation house, or like for rent, like when someone wants to go for a vacation, just for a holiday, weekend holiday, that property, your property in the regional area, can be a rental property as well for those who want to just visit the place. That's good. That's a good idea. Now, Stephen, how can you, I know you're very good in this, how can they actually reach out to you? Do you only cater people, not just for any other tips that you have given, but for this investing property itself? How can they actually reach you if they need some advice? Are you just helping Melbourne state, or you can also help outside Melbourne too?
It could be outside of Melbourne. I've got clients in Sydney and Queensland, Western Australia. So it doesn't really matter where you are. Obviously, it's investing in Australia, but they can reach me on Facebook.
Where?
They can, Capital 4
What's your
Finance
Facebook?
Group.
Capital 4 Finance. Can I just actually write that? Capital
4 Finance Group, Proprietary Limited.
Finance Group. Finance. I can't spell. Group. Okay.
Limited.
On Facebook, right? On FB.
Facebook. I'm on Twitter as well, but that's Miranda Stephen on Twitter.
Okay. I will
You can reach
perhaps
me
write it
on
down on on the bio itself here.
email,
Yep.
phone. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
any way you want. Got a
Would you mind if you
website.
could send me your as well your other details like Twitter and other
Yeah,
social media so that they can reach you? Because
yeah, of
once
course.
again, guys, Stephen can help you wherever you are here in
Sure.
Australia. Even you can just give him a call and he can guide you something.
Absolutely.
You know, he's been
Yeah.
doing this for 20 years, not just the crypto currency, not just other things that
Yeah.
he does. You know, he can also guide you because number one for him is always the conventional, which is property investment. And as is mentioned again, diversify your investment so that you don't lose much of your savings, you know, of your money. So that's a very
Yeah.
wise advice. Thank you so much for that, Stephen.
That's
Now,
right. You're welcome.
Stephen, I know you're
Sure.
very busy at this time, and I'm so grateful that being a busy person, you've allowed me to do this interview, live podcast tonight. So
You're
I'm
welcome.
so honored. Thank you so much for that. But is there any sort of like other new opportunities, if there is, if you've said it already, then we can move on to the next question, that they could seek your assistance in the future apart from property investment? Is there anything that you know, any other opportunities that they can seek your advice?
I guess mine has always been property, but I guess if they, anything around stocks or crypto stuff like that, or online businesses, sure, I can assist
Yeah, and it's
definitely.
affordable anyways if they want to ask for advice here. The
Yeah, oh yeah,
affordability of the
very low
advice
cost,
per hour. That's
very
good,
low cost.
Stephen. Stephen,
I'm not,
I'll
I'm
have a
not.
discount. Okay,
I like to help. It's always
that's good.
been
Pay it forward.
for me. It's always been yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. If I
You've
help enough
always been
people,
very generous. Mm,
yeah, if you help enough people, they'll come back. They'll help you. They'll tell
yeah,
other people.
yeah,
It's always
true.
been a business philosophy. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm a
def-
witness. Thank you.
right.
Salute, salute, salute. Okay, Stephen, before we end and wrap this up,
Sure.
another question here. What are your advice for those who are tuning in right now?
Mm,
What are your advice for those who are wanting to find the right niche? Because you
mm.
have said a while ago, some people doesn't know
Yeah,
what's their niche really. So what are your
yeah.
advice to those who are wanting to find the right niche for them to
Um,
invest, to invest an option,
it's it's
to
hard.
choose for investment?
Yeah, in terms of niches, do what you love. Something, if you find something that you enjoy, um, I think that's always a head start. If you find something that you love doing, that's always going to be,
Mhm.
it's going to help you go all in on something, and it's going to help you invest in it. So if it's something you don't really enjoy, you don't really like,
Mhm.
you're going to put hard work in for a month, 2 months, and then you're going to let it go. It's not going to be something you want to do. So that would be, it's very simplistic, but try and choose something that you enjoy and something that there's a market for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's
And
all I would
research
say.
on it.
So yeah, something that's going to make you happy and something that you
Yeah,
enjoy doing. Definitely, that's what I would be looking at. So
yeah, that's good. Someone says here, "Oh,
and
I
try and,
love
and then try and
crypto."
monetize it.
Yeah, monetize is really good. Monetize
Yeah.
it. Someone said here, I don't want
Yeah.
to mention his name. He said,
Uh huh.
Stephen, I love crypto. I love stock market. I love property investment, but I don't have the money. So what I can
Oh,
say is
okay.
start saving. Start saving. Don't
Yes.
go
Yeah.
shopping all the time. Yeah. Be wise in your money.
There's a saying: you don't have to be rich to invest. But don't
Is
don't
that a
ever
song?
forget. Don't ever forget that. So you know, set a budget. Do a budget. Make sure you pay yourself first. Make sure there's a little bit of money you can put aside.
Mm,
And if you don't have much money, put into a safe investment. Like
true.
put it into a managed fund, or just put it in the bank for now, and build it up. Build it up.
This is growing. True.
Yeah. So
That's
do a
good advice.
budget, but make sure you set aside a little bit of money for yourself first, and then the rest for expenses. And then once you start building up your savings, then start looking at investing.
That's
But slow and steady. It's not, even if you have no money now, I'm sure you can find a little bit to put away that you can start. Yeah.
yeah.
So
$20 a day. You have
do a
in
budget.
a
Look at your
week. You have
expenses.
yeah, 140,
look at
yeah,
your
a week.
expenses and always find ways. How can I increase my income? It's not just about cutting expenses.
Yeah,
How am I
that's
going
right.
to increase my income? Get more
Yeah.
skills at work to increase, get a promotion, or
Do some
don't
side
just look.
hustle.
Yeah, it's not just about your expenses. It's also about trying to
Mm.
increase your income. Can you do a second job on the side, or like a side hustle, like you're saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, for
Thank
sure. But
you.
yeah,
Beautiful.
hopefully that
Thanks,
answers your
Stephen.
question. Yeah.
Of course, of course. Stephen, thank you so much for that. And,
Cool.
we have learned so much from you today
I hope
for this
so. I hope so.
brief, of course, for this brief moment. Stephen, you have given such a lot of wisdom and you've been very generous as well with your ideas, and you are there to give that advice and for us to choose which one suits us, right? And so sit
Yeah.
back and relax there, Stephen. I just want to wrap this up. And
Yeah,
thank you so
sure.
much once again. As amazing, amazing podcast today. Best to invest in 2021 onwards. So, guys, friends, global friends, and global viewers as well. Thank you so much for keeping us company right now with me and Stephen, talking about what you need to know when it comes to investing. And Stephen has mentioned, there's so many things that you can ways that you can invest, but at the end of the day, you need to diversify your investment. And you need to be wise as well. You need to research on this. And, again, as what he has mentioned as well, that it's all about saving as well. You don't need to start investing with the highest money that you can get. You can start investing in a low sort of like amount of money. But at the end of the day, you need to really be wise in saving your money and know where to put all this money as well so that it will grow bigger and bigger each day. And at the end of the year, you have a good sort of like income growth, and some of you perhaps could think about increasing your income. It could be working again, or it could be a side hustle, and right now the world has, again, as I've mentioned many times, has shifted into online opportunity. There's so many side hustles automated there that you can also join, but be careful as well. But this could also help you add up to your savings so that you can start investing on other things as well. And again, whatever you decide, make sure that it will make you happy, that there is a connection between you and this opportunity, and don't just rush into things. And everything or anything that you do is always a risk, obviously, when it comes to investing and investment. Again, let's always remember what Stephen has mentioned. Research on that kind of investment. Don't just follow your friends because your friends are good in this, but it doesn't mean that you're also good in that. So we make sure that we ask an advice from an expert. Stephen is there as well. Maybe perhaps you can reach out to him. Later on, I will type it on the bio or on the comment section as well, where you can reach him as well. And for any passive income that you need to know as well, guys, reach out to me, comment down in that comment section, so I can also guide you what's the good side hustle or passive online income that you can do as well. So that's it for today, Stephen. Once again, amazing
Thank
time
you.
with you. Learn so much, and more
I hope
blessings
so.
to come
Thank
for
you.
you, of course. And again, be a blessings to everyone. And I hope you won't change. And I'll see you next time. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Lee on Motivationalee. Stay happy, stay inspired, stay motivated, and let's create an impact. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone. Take care. Be a blessing to everyone. Bye,
Bye.
Stephen.
Bye.
Bye.